inverse derivative, page 2. Okay, so we are finding the value of g of -1, inverse of g at 1, and then the derivative. So I know that this is the same thing as g prime g -1, 1. So g inverse of 1, g inverse of 1 is 3, g prime of 3 is -2, so that's my slope. So now when x equals 1, alright, of g of x, so I go to g, in the range of g I find 1. So this means it is the domain of g prime of x. There's where I made my mistake in class. So the point 1, 3 will be our x and y points. So y minus 3 equals -1/2 x minus 1. So it's actually easier. That makes a little bit more sense than my crazy method I screwed up on in class. Alright, so now we're going to estimate. Anytime I want to estimate g prime of -1, I use g of -1 and take the slope. Okay, so -1 is not here, but 0 and -2 are. So I'm going to use f of x, x, and x, and just take the slope. So it looks like this. Estimation of g prime of -1 will be the slope of g. Alright, so this will be g of -2 minus g of 0 over -2 minus 0. G of -2 is 2. G of 0 is -3. So to find an estimation down here, it's asking for double prime, which is second derivative, which is where we're going to start to go. Second derivative of -1. Alright, so to find this, it's the slope of which is g prime of -2 is 3. G prime of 0 is 2. That is 3 minus 2. And there you go. I hope this was helpful. I hope I didn't screw anybody up here. And there you go.